So kids, now let's talk about the proper shape of the earth, a very important topic. So let me tell you one thing, earth is spherical but not exactly spherical. If I have to describe the shape of the earth, I would say earth is geoid. Geoid means oblate, spheroid. Our earth is oblate spheroid, our earth is geoid. So what do you mean by geoid? As I said, you have seen orange, how orange is? Little flat at the top and little bulging in the center. Okay? If earth would have been spherical, our earth would have been exactly a sphere. Correct? If earth would have been spherical, polar diameter means diameter from one pole to another, and equatorial diameter should have been same, but when measured we found out that this was the shape of the earth noticed. Okay, this was the shape of the earth noticed. That means we discovered that the polar diameter and the equatorial diameter are not same. In fact, what we noticed was polar diameter was less than equatorial diameter. Less than equatorial diameter. Our polar diameter was found to be less than equatorial diameter. Equatorial diameter was more. Not too much of difference was there, but there was difference. And any spherical object should have same diameter from anywhere. But we noticed that the distance between two poles is less as compared to the distance between the two ends of the equator. So, earth is exactly not flat. Earth is not exactly spherical. It is flattened at the top and bulging at the equator. Flattened at the top, if you see, it is flattened at the top. So let me just draw this. You will get a better view to understand. So when we noticed, what we saw was earth is like this. Alright? You try to make it as a... So earth was found to be flattened and bulge at the equator. So when they say how is geoid shape? At the top or at the poles, it is flattened. So flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator. And bulging at the equator. This is what we noticed about the shape of the earth. So now, what has caused this shape? Who is responsible for this shape? So this shape has been caused due to rotation of the earth. Now, kids, the rotation of the earth, the speed of the rotation of the earth is maximum at the equator. At equator, the rotation speed is 1670 km per hour. The speed is maximum at the equator. And as you go towards the poles, the speed of the rotation decreases. The speed of the rotation is maximum at the equator. And as you go towards the poles, the speed will decrease. The speed of the rotation will decrease. Why? This is how the rotation speed is. So अभी इसकी वजह से क्या हुआ? The speed of the rotation is maximum at equator, due to which a force is created at equator, and that force is called as centrifugal force. It is created where? At equator. Why is it created at equator? Because the speed of rotation is maximum at equator. So a force is created at the equator which causes bulge, which causes the equator to bulge out. This force causes the bulge at the equator. Who causes this bulge at the equator? Centrifugal force. And who is responsible for the centrifugal force? Rotation of the earth, whose speed is maximum at the equator. So this is a very, very important answer which you should know properly. Rotation of the earth, speed is maximum at the equator, that leads to formation of a force at the equator called as centrifugal force. This force creates a bulge at the equator. It creates a bulge at the equator, because of which the equator gets bulged out and causes flattening of the poles. Causes equator to bulge out and flattening of the poles. This is why Earth is not exactly sphere and Earth is oblate spheroid. Earth is oblate spheroid. So this was about the shape, and again I am saying everyone, please make sure to learn this properly. And how did we discover that Earth is not exactly sphere? Because there was a difference in polar and equatorial diameter. It was found out that equatorial diameter was more than polar diameter. Now let's talk about the last part of the chapter, why our Earth is a unique planet. What makes our Earth unique? Simple. Earth is the only planet that supports, that supports life. Earth is the only planet where life exists. No wonder it is a unique planet. Now my question is, why life exists only on Earth? What supports life on Earth? Why life exists on Earth? So the first is, see, this is Sun, this is Mercury, I'm just writing the first alphabet, Venus, our Earth, Mars, Jupiter is quite big, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Now if you see our Earth, okay, this is our Earth. Our Earth distance from Sun is just perfect. It is not very close like Mercury and Venus. Otherwise it would have been boiling hot. It is not very far like these planets like Saturn or Uranus or Neptune. The distance between Earth and Sun is just perfect, because of which first and second point always write them together. So distance is perfect, because of which the average temperature of our Earth is 17 degrees Celsius, and that is a perfect temperature for life to exist. Do you know, kids, Mercury and Venus, they are terrestrial planets, correct? They are before Earth, so we call them as terrestrial planet. These planets' temperature is more than 400 degrees Celsius. They are so hot. The Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they are freezing cold. But our Earth's average temperature is 17 degrees Celsius, which is just a perfect temperature for life to exist. So our Earth's distance gives us perfect temperature. The right distance gives us optimum temperature for life to exist. Okay kids, I would like to mention one more thing. Now we know very well Mercury is the first planet and Venus is the second planet. Correct? So ideally Mercury should be very hot as compared to Venus. But in reality Venus is hotter as compared to Mercury. Do you know why? Because the atmosphere of Venus is made up of carbon dioxide. The atmosphere of Venus is made up of carbon dioxide. And you all know very well carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. It traps heat. It has got more heat trapping capacity. It traps heat. So In spite of Venus being a second planet, it is hotter as compared to Mercury because of carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. So these are the first two, but count this both the point as 1 point only. Now third thing that makes life possible on Earth is our, let me write here only, it's better that you will be able to, I'll be able to cover larger board. Okay. The third thing that makes life possible on Earth is our unique atmosphere. Atmosphere of Earth is very unique. I'll tell you why. We have two life supporting gases. We have two life supporting gases. Which are the two life supporting gases we have? Yes, we have nitrogen. We have nitrogen in 78%. We have oxygen 21%. And that makes life possible on Earth. No other planet has all this. Only our Earth has this life to supporting gases in such a good quantity. Also, we have 1% of carbon dioxide, helium, argon. Now, carbon dioxide is also important. ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए, but थोड़ा तो होना चाहिए because it's a greenhouse gas. I told you in the beginning, it's a greenhouse gas. During the daytime, it traps heat. And at night, when sun is not there, slowly it will release that heat which it had trapped during day and thus keeps the night warm. If carbon dioxide would have not been there, the nights would have been freezing cold. Thanks to the presence of carbon dioxide, that our nights are not freezing cold. Also, without carbon dioxide, how plants will survive? Because they want carbon dioxide to perform the process of photosynthesis. And if plants will not perform photosynthesis, how will we get oxygen? So carbon dioxide is present. That is also important on Earth. Then we have ozone. Ozone protects our Earth from harmful UV rays of the sun. That is also found in our atmosphere. That makes our atmosphere unique. Presence of two life supporting gases. Presence of 1% of carbon dioxide, helium and argon. Presence of ozone. You know what, kids? Our atmosphere prevent loss of heat. Prevent loss of heat means what? So as I said, like carbon dioxide, there are few more gases. So what do? Is atmosphere is like a blanket on Earth. It allows sunlight to enter. Okay, it allows sunlight to enter. But when the sunlight is escaping back, atmosphere layer will not let the sunlight escape back. Due to which it will prevent loss of heat. So when sunlight will enter, but when sunlight is escaping, not all sunlight will be able to escape back. Some gases will trap the outgoing sunlight, because of which at night we feel little warm. So the warmth on Earth is maintained because of atmosphere, because atmosphere prevent loss of heat. Which heat? The sunlight which is trying to escape back. When that sunlight is trying to escape back, it will not be able to go. Why it will not be able to escape back? Because atmosphere will block that light, will trap that light. And if sunlight will not escape back, the loss of heat from Earth will be prevented. So this is what our atmosphere is. That is why our atmosphere makes life possible on Earth. Our atmosphere makes life possible on Earth. The next we have is water. Yes, hydrosphere. %71% of the Earth is covered with water. Now, you know what? We know very well there are three processes which is continuously maintaining the water on Earth. Whatever is water is there on Earth, it keeps on evaporating. Evaporated water will condense, comes back in the form of precipitation. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. This entire cycle helps to maintain the level of water on earth. We call this process as water cycle, hydrological cycle. Water cycle or hydrological cycle. Now, so evaporation, condensation and precipitation. This balance is maintained very well by water. Otherwise, life would have not been possible. Do you know also, see we have 70% water. 70% is water. Okay? And the remaining is land. Now, water has a good quality. Water has a speciality. So water absorbs enormous amount of heat. Large quantity of heat water will absorb. But it will not cause rise in temperature. It will not cause raise in temperature. That is the quality of water. It absorbs heat without raising the temperature. So during daytime, there is so much of sunlight we are receiving. We have 70% water and 30% land, 71% water and 29% land. Now land absorbs heat and gets heated also very fast. It raises the temperature. But thank God we don't have so much of land. We have more of the water. So whatever sunlight we receive during the daytime, water will absorb that heat, but it will not raise temperature to that extent. Imagine if instead of 71% water, there would have been 71% land, then the day temperature would have gone very high. But what does water do? Absorbs heat and doesn't allow the day temperature to rise very high. Thus it prevents extreme day temperature. Now land heats also very fast and cools also very fast. But at night, land start releasing heat, start cooling. Land starts cooling. Imagine if there would have been 70% land. Nights would have been so cold because land would have cooled and it would have lowered the temperature. So during the daytime, water absorbs lot of heat and doesn't allow day temperature to rise very high. At night, water body releases heat, whatever heat it has absorbed. At night, slowly it releases the heat and keeps night warm. Otherwise, nights would have become freezing cold. Keeps nights warm, otherwise nights would have been freezing cold. Thus during daytime, it prevents earth from getting extremely hot. At night, it prevents from becoming extreme cold. It moderates the climate. It moderates the temperature. This is how water is moderating the temperature. Then we have lithosphere. That also makes life possible on earth. Lithosphere is what? Crust. Means the land. Now kids, what is land made up of? Yes, rocks. What will rocks break and get converted into? Correct, soil. Land is made up of rocks. Rocks will break and lead to formation of soil. Now soil will have all the nutrients because of which plant will grow. Soil support plant life. And we all directly or indirectly depend on plant. So lithosphere is also very important because lithosphere has rocks. Rocks will form soil. Soil will support plant life. And we all depend on plant directly or indirectly. So life is possible on earth. First, the distance and the temperature of earth is perfect. Then our atmosphere is very unique. Our hydrosphere supports life. Our lithosphere supports life. And now the last factor that also supports our life on earth, which is called as biosphere. Which is called as biosphere. What is biosphere? Life zone of earth. It is a zone where lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, basically this. All three zones will be interacting with each other. It is a narrow zone of interaction between lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. So in this biosphere, you will find all necessary condition which is needed for life to exist. You will see light here, you will have heat here, you will have water here, you will have food, you will have habitats, everything will be found in this biosphere. That is why it supports life. All the conditions necessary for life to exist is found in biosphere. And biosphere exists only on Earth. Biosphere exists only on Earth. It's a very thin layer. Approximately 15 kilometer from the deepest ocean trench. Approximately 15 kilometer from the deepest ocean trench to the highest mountain peak. 15 kilometer from the deepest ocean trench to the highest peak. At ground level, the extent of biosphere will be around 3 meter below in the ocean water and 200 meter deep where marine and fresh life is found. But more than extent, please make sure to learn the meaning of biosphere. Now kids, also our earth has ecosystem. What is ecosystem? Now see, ponds. Ponds are natural habitat for lotus, for fish, for all the aquatic plants which are found in ponds. Now pond will naturally have all that condition which will support life, which will sustain life. Okay, so let's take one more example, grassland. So grassland will have all the condition that will support the herbivores, animals or whoever is found, whichever living things are found there. They function on their own. They function on their own. Forest. So forest will have naturally all that condition which can support the animal life, the bird life over there. It will sustain itself. It will sustain all the life forms which are found in that. So what is ecosystem? Ecosystem is self-regulating and self-sustaining. Self-regulating and self-sustaining structural and functional unit of life. Structural and functional unit of life. It is self-regulating. We don't have to put any effort to automatic life can exist because it has all the conditions where it can support life. Self-regulating, self-sustaining, structural and functional unit of biosphere is called as ecosystem. I am repeating again. I want everyone to learn the definition properly. Self-regulating, self-sustaining, structural and functional unit of biosphere is called as ecosystem. So this is also one of the reasons that life exists on Earth. Remember one thing, in biosphere you will see mainly two life forms, plant kingdom and yes, animal kingdom. Plant kingdom and animal kingdom. So that is your biosphere. Biosphere is the life zone of the Earth. Yes.